What's up, guys? This will be my last video for the day. This one is it's just about money handling, proper techniques. Whenever I work a festival, there's always individuals that don't take it as seriously as they should. Handling money is probably it's the easiest way to get fired. And it's easy if people say that you've been stealing, and that it only takes one time. It only takes one time for someone to assume that you're stealing, even the idea that you are stealing, to blacklist you from every company in this industry. Absolutely, absolutely crucial. You treat money as if it is, like, think about it as like if you don't have at least two pair of eyes on that money, then you're gonna die. It's a very extreme scenario, I know, but so a good way to go about it is you're always going to have these cash tips at festivals where somebody might assign you like, hey, I need you to count the money, bring somebody with you. So you always need to make sure you bring at least one person with you. I prefer bringing someone that is not in your friend group or in your traveling specific circle. Like if you're at a bar where you're like, oh, I don't know these two people, let me count money with them. That way there's no suspicion like, oh, well, they're friends. Maybe they're talking about taking extra money or whatever. I've had situations where I've counted money with managers, of just me and the manager, and something has happened where they needed to be called away, and I'm just like, don't leave me with this money. Send somebody out here before you leave. That is perfectly fine. No manager is ever going to hound you for saying, hey, I need someone out here for my accountability to make sure that I am not taking anything that is not mine. This is very, very, very important. Do not ever be left alone with money at all. I don't care what the situation is. Never be left alone with money. You just don't want to hear it from anybody. You don't want to have any reason for anybody to think that you are taking money either from the company or from each other. Absolutely, absolutely crucial. And that's pretty much it. This is really just an awareness video about a good practice to make sure that you are never left alone with money. Also, make sure that if you are ever given a tip and everything's like a central tip bucket, hold the tip in the air. I don't care if it's a $1 bill or a $100 bill. Always have it in the air. Say, hey, transferring money. Look at this. Look at this. If you are counting money, I've had situations where I needed to pull my phone out of my pocket. Even a small thing like that could be grounds for someone being suspicious. So I tell the person next to me, like, hey, look at me. Nothing in my hand. I'm pulling my phone out of my pocket so I can calculate these tips. A lot of times they want credit, just be like, dude, just do your thing. A lot of them they don't think it's underwhelming to them. They're just like, oh, whatever, I'm not worried about it. Like, yeah, you're not worried about it until something comes up short and you suspect that someone's been taking money. Always be safe. Always better to be safe than sorry. Always. I always like to, also, if you're counting money, sometimes when you're counting tips, this is a practice that I do. You don't have to do this at all. This is just something that I personally do. Just because I'm just that type of person. So let's say you count money and you do your tip divided. Sometimes let's say like you divide the tips and it's an odd number, and it comes out to on your phone it'd be like 15.38, something like that. And there's like a couple dollars left over or like a couple dollars short. So if you're separating money between like 10 bartenders and it's coming up short on all piles except for the last one, like oh wow, man, I'm missing like $3 or $4, and you just don't want to recount it, just give yourself the smaller stack. Let the person next to you, like your manager, like, hey, I'm taking the stack that's $3 less. It's just $3. I'm not really worried about it. Like I said, you don't have to do this. I just prefer to do it because I would say taking a loss on $3 is better than me recounting like $5,000 in cash and having to re-separate it again. Obviously, if it's like $10 or more, you're going to be like, well, it's $10. I want to go ahead and redo that. That's perfectly fine. That's just a small practice that I do. It's not common. I just choose to do that. You don't have to do that. Yep, that's pretty much it. All I got. If you have any questions, drop a statement below. There's lots of different ways to handle money, lots of different ways to make sure that there's no thought about anything being stolen. So if you have any questions, just drop below. Always use your fellow bartenders as a source as well to get their opinion and their common practices as well. Some practices are probably better than mine and some that I haven't addressed in this video.